Dr. Coleman, could you talk about your experience with the integrated curriculum in the classroom? And then also, how do you feel that that benefits the students and the faculty in the learning environment?
It's interesting to me, like I was kind of started allude to a little bit earlier, is just the way that we have so many people working together, and it really it's caused me, I know, to expand my knowledge base exponentially. And I'll oftentimes say that I've learned more in the last 2.5 years than I learned in my previous 10 years of teaching. Because for one, we're just teaching at a high level. And we really do get into the diseases, the processes, so many different things that go beyond the basic terminology and what is this type thing. And so it goes two ways. We're not only teaching in a really detailed level. I went over so many different diseases and medical conditions today in the 4 hours of teaching that I just got through doing. But it's also when you're working with a clinician or another subdiscipline, you're learning a lot about, like I know more about pharmacology than I used to. I'm still no expert. I have a specialist colleague for that. I know a little bit more about the virology. And then also, so it's the basics now, but then it's working with people like Dr. Selfridge really closely, where we can tailor some of our content to be really the relevant material, teaching things about like choanal blockage of the nasal passages in a newborn and how that affects them and whether or not they're going to be cyanotic and when they turn blue baby and if they can cry. And I was recently talking to some of my friends that teach in California, anatomy professors, and they'd never even heard of choanal atresia. And so it's that kind of thing where I would feel like that, I like bring the step on, I'm ready, not quite ready, but it's just amazing how much more empowered you feel and how you can connect the dots for the students and to make it into, this is a medical problem. We're solving medical mysteries here, even if it's a basic fracture or some other type of an occlusion of a vessel. What are not only the immediate effects, what are the long-term effects, the treatments they're using, that sort of thing. And so, I do have a lot of friends who'll call me and they're like, hey, I've got this problem. I say, okay, first of all, I'm not qualified to actually treat you, if I want to say that. But they say, yeah, but you know more about anatomy than anybody I know. And I'm like, well, okay, let's talk about it. I'm like, you need to go see an endocrinologist, And so it'll be that where I know enough to know where my limitations are. But at the same time, I've just really been able to pull some things together that I can give solid advice to my brother and about nutrition or about things that I think really help me to understand the human body in a way that's more than just anatomical. And I really do think that it helps my students because I can, when I get into my knowledge where I don't know, I'll be like, we need to go talk to this person about it. But I can teach so much more than what I used to at my previous institutions. And I really do think that, one thing about this is that I didn't usually know what they were being taught in the upper classes, right? I would just give them this big block of anatomy and like, okay, you know everything you need to know. I didn't really know if this was useful or if there was a missing piece here. And then you also start working through the question banks and you start to see that there's a lot of little concepts that you need to reinforce that were part of the teaching curriculum before. And so I'll spend a little extra time on that material. And so it really is the way that we work hand in glove in the classrooms. And I was just in here with Dr. Selfridge a couple of weeks ago when we were doing respiratory at our heart sound lab. And now I'm teaching Snowbridge. She actually doesn't go from intercostal space 2 to 5. She slides down and she's listening to the sounds all along the pathway. And you don't learn stuff like that if you live out of a textbook or if you live in an asylum. And so is like nothing that I've ever experienced at any place that I've ever taught at or that I've ever seen before. So, and I think the students feel it, they synergize off of it. And I think that's why we have such successful students like these two gentlemen here and a whole host of other students that are really going to be proud and make us proud when they are physicians that came from WAUSM.